thing. Like if you don't have the gear,
Mm-hmm.
that's how you gear up.
Oh yeah, I'm going to play my what is it? My rogue for a little bit because she's 85.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get her to 90, and then I'm going to do the 3 potion run around and collect treasures trick
Mm-hmm.
to get to 100, and then next week I'm just going to get her decked out in item level 700 gear.
Nice.
So I can really just play the mess out of her. She's a lot of fun.
Nice. You're like roguing it up.
Swashbuckling and pulls out a pistol and shoots him in the face. It's really cool.
Be very piratey. No.
Yar. I tell people she's the sassy Pandaren.
A sassy pants Pandaren?
Sassy Pants Darn.
Sassy
Pants Darn.
There you go. There you go.
I'm going to get the chat room open.
Yes. Hello, chat room. Let me go tweet the deets and say hello to the world.
Let's go ahead and do that. Tweet the deet.
The deet. The tweet. The thing, which is
the deet that tweets.
Live. Twitch.tv/Tauren Think Tink. Boom. There it goes.
Boom.
The dates, they be tweeted.
Yep, I got the notification on it.
Good. Hello, chat room.
Hello, everybody. Welcome aboard.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. The greatest show in all of Twitch on Thursday nights.
Oh. So, I have the Garrus cam set up, but he's not in it. So, no kitty means you get the two of us until he decides to show up.
Yep. Then the kitty.
He's he has not he was just in it before, and then I got up and I moved and he got down. So but he loves that spot, so we'll have to see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. So yes, Thursday nights off of work is awesome, Caspin, and thank you for
yes,
feedback. Because that show, man, you guys were so nice about that episode. And I think we are planning and will be doing more things like that. I just need to line up all of the right guests, for topics of that nature. I was going through the mailbox today. The mailbox, It's still a mailbox.
It's our inbox, yeah.
Yeah. So I was going through and I'm like, oh, we only have one letter in here. So oh my gosh, Jane. Yeah, it's like really late in Sweden. Good Lord.
Welcome.
Hi.
And then now it's bedtime.
And now it's bedtime. So we only have one letter tonight because that's all I got. So, but that's okay. So we'll do the show. And, but, it's what happens usually when we have one letter is that we'll go as long as just as long as a normal show with one letter. So we'll have to see. But, if we don't continue to receive letters, 'cause I know people are busy and it's summertime still. And, for most of us. And so we will just start making up topics of our own. Because that's what we can do.
Then the fun begins because you get to get into our minds.
Oh, gosh. Right?
What do I want to talk about today?
What do I want to discuss in this show?
Boy, I could probably get 5 or 6 shows out of the coworker dynamics at work.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, so, we'll make do. We'll figure out, but there's always room for your letters. Just don't send us any more how do I recruit for my guild letters, because we've done that so many times. So
and it's pretty easy. You say, hey, we're gonna do these cool things for the guild I'm in. Let's do them. Anybody want to come in here? Hey, that's pretty much it. It's just. I mean, it especially now with everybody making Demon Hunters and they're wanting to, it's a fresh start on Legion, trying out a new server. Maybe I'll join this guy's guild or this gal's guild. You just use that opportunity now that the new expansion's out.
Yeah, and like CTR is just hopping right now
Yeah.
because of the Demon Hunter invasion.
Yeah.
It's like everybody's rolling their demon hunters. They're like, "Can I get an invite, please, invite." And like, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, I had a guy, one of the guys that I worked with before. He asked me, or he knows a guy at the store who's one of my BattleNet friends, and he added me earlier today, and he said, hey, I'm about to transfer one of my 100 tunes over to Area Peak and then make a Demon Hunter so I can join CTR for both of them.
Aww.
I was like, well, awesome. Welcome aboard.
Yeah.
That'll be good.
Oh, Broken Bones. That is one of my favorite Demon Hunter names.
Matt Demon. I do like that one.
That one makes me laugh every time. I haven't made my Demon Hunter yet, and I'm afraid now that my name is going to be taken, but we'll see.
Well, you could reserve it, like log in. Well, you're on a different computer.
I am. My gaming computer's over there, so yeah. I can't really do it.
That's true. Well, what I did is I just made a character. I made like I made a Night Elf Hunter, just level 1 with the character name that I wanted, just to save it.
Yeah, it was every time I think about going in and, like I went in on Julana and I did the Broken Shore questline and scenario and all that stuff. And I just never thought about sitting there and making a character and reserving and locking the name. I don't know why it didn't occur to me to do this. And every time I think about it, I'm not able to go over to my computer to do it because I'm not at it. So it's like I'm in the shower or I'm in the car or something like that. So,
whoopsie.
So yeah. This is fun. Yeah, Gnome Ranger that's a good one.
I like that one. Gnome Ranger.
Okay, time for me to test the sounders. I know to find them. There they are. Here is... Oh, we'll do this one.
Trifling gnome! Your arrogance will be your undoing!
Yep. I heard that one.
And you hear the double in the voice. Yeah. The upper lower. Yeah, Pat just did that video today about the CTR changes, which is good. Good stuff.
I'm not aware of it. I didn't get a chance to watch it.
Basics behind it is that all level 100 characters in Convert to Raid will be moved to Raider rank.
Okay.
And so that because we're kind of streamlining things a little bit, because before you'd go in and you'd be at the Molten Core rank, and then if you were on a raid team, then there would be administrative work that would be done to move you from Molten Core to Raider. And what we decided is look, there's everybody who joins CTR. Our motto is welcome home, Raider. Anyway.
Yeah.
So we will, I think that's where we're going to establish people, is that you're going to be a Raider now. But you get promoted to the Raider rank after being in the guild for, a couple of weeks or a week or something like that. There's a script that's going to be run to just move you into that rank initially. And then when everybody gets the expansion and they start leveling up, all level 110s are going to become Raiders. So can't
wait.
I know. And so we'll have all that going on. So guild repairs are going to get changed around a little bit, because Raider rank did come with some guild repair. We've got to adjust that a bit.
Or we're going to go broke in hours.
Yeah. So actually he recorded the video a couple of hours towards the end of the day, and I kind of heard him, and we've talked about it so many times, and I actually haven't watched him do the video. I heard him do it. I just didn't watch the final product yet.
Yeah.
It's kind of strange to be working in a space now where, there's a recording studio and an office. So, and I'm in the office, he's in the recording studio all day. So he does stuff, and I don't always know what he's working on, but it's pretty cool. Most of the time we're doing stuff together, or separately, and then it's like, hey, this is what I did, and this is what I did. And so, we'll talk all about that when we get started with the show, because I've got all these things that I've been working on, which has been really, really fun.
Yeah, I love all of the shirts that I've seen.
Thank you.
Love all of them.
It's amazing what you can do when you do this full time.
I know.
Right? The
fantastic.
things you can accomplish when you can focus on it. Oh my gosh, it's so freaking amazing. I love it. So, yes. So we heard Sounders. We're good there. And we got to make sure the chat room's ready, of course. Duh. Hey, chat room. Are you guys ready?
Ready.
Thanks, Tasia. They are pretty amazing. I'm super stoked by them.
Let's see here.
Everybody's typing their one. Yeah, who needs a summon? All the shirts. I know. There's some really, really cool things that we can do and get and buy. Oh, red eye. Red eye.
Yes.
All right.
Let's see.
Are you about ready or do you need a minute?
Yep, I'm just double checking on the /moose.
Oh, yes. I didn't check Discord after around 7:30.
7:30 tonight.
Mm-hmm. I did check Twitter.
Okay. Well, there's one from Solomio that's not in there.
Okay.
I'll put it in there.
If you would kindly put it there.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Let's see here. I'll have to put it in yours, too.
Yes. Otherwise, I will not see it.
There you go.
I will not see it.
There's that one, and...
Oh my gosh, yes. Having to carry around hunter ammo was the worst. And people having, like, I gotta stop and go back to town and buy more ammo, guys. That was the worst. I remember those days. Marconin is very intently staring at the screen.
Just making sure I don't miss one.
Okay.
Okay. That should be good.
Okay. Is there a fan running?
I can turn it off. I don't know why it usually doesn't register.
I can hear it today.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
it's
there
better.
you go.
And now I don't hear it now.
All right.
All right, folks. We're going to fire this lovely thing up in 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to Tauren Think Tank, the podcast about the Blizzard gamer behind the keyboard.
It's episode 197 of Tauren Think Tank. Today is Thursday, August 11th at 2016 at 8:10 in the PM. Yeah, a little bit later than normal. That's okay, because we were chatty about Legion stuff and other good things. My name is Jules. As always, I am joined by my co-host, the man without the demon hunter yet. His name is Marconin.
Ah, geez, Jules, you want to rub it in some more? Gosh.
Have some salt, okay?
I will. Because I don't have a demon hunter, so I gotta have something.
Have some saltiness. I know I'm kind of mean. I
Jeez.
just did rub that in, didn't I?
I'm only salty because you rubbed salt in the wound.
Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. Well, I needed to get a reaction out of you, so there you go.
Well, you got one. You got one.
It is Legion pre-patch week, and we have been really busy, and some of us haven't even been home for most of the week, but there's been playing, there's been wowing, there's been lots of stuff that not necessarily has to do with the game, but with the gamer culture itself. First of all, we want to say thank you to everybody who gave us so much wonderful feedback about episode 196 with Dr. Holiday Bean about anxiety. That show, you guys came out in force and just told us how much you enjoyed it, and we really appreciate that. And definitely said we want you guys to do more shows like that. So we're going to be looking into it because we have to schedule a guest. We have to come up with a topic, but we're going to be working on that because I think it's a really good way to have conversation about the stuff that we've been dealing with as gamers. So it's been super, super cool. Anyway, Marconin, you have been away.
I have been away. I didn't really talk about it until at the end of the show last week,
right.
But I'm technically still on vacation. I worked Sunday morning and then I went on vacation. I went way out, way up into the Ozark Mountains of Arkansas and stayed in a nice log cabin that we found on Airbnb.
Nice.
It was really cool. It was a little cabin that was built onto this couple's farm. Like there were chickens walking around. They gave us like fresh eggs. Not so fresh. They were like, well, you don't have to reach under the chicken to get them, but we have them in the refrigerator that are already clean. So if you want some more eggs, just come get them. So we had fresh eggs for breakfast. We went to this really awesome cavern that's up in the Ozarks called Blanchard Springs. Huge cavern. It was awesome. I love doing that stuff anyway, and going into caves and seeing all the formations. So it was right up my alley.
Yeah.
And it was really awesome. Oh goodness. We ate a couple local places. We grilled out on the porch. There was a gas grill, so we cooked everything. It was wonderful. I just really enjoyed it, and except for the part where I got sunburned yesterday when I canoed down 18 miles of river.
Ooh.
And so I'm a little sunburned on my legs. It doesn't hurt that much, so I'm not complaining too much, but I was just going to mention it. So yeah, I went down to a hole in the ground for the caverns, and then I was up in the sun too long.
Oh,
so
yes.
It was a good week.
Yeah.
I actually just got back about 4 or 5 hours ago.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah, I'm a little road weary and all that stuff, but it was a lot of fun. And it was the first non-meetup, non-convention vacation I've had in 6 years.
Is that right? My goodness.
Yeah, every other vacation I ever took was either BlizzCon or Nerdtacular or the meetups and stuff like that. So it was really cool, and got to see a lot of neat stuff and just relax because it was very quiet. It was way out in the country where we were staying, just on somebody's farm, but it was awesome. They even had internet, so I got to do a little bit of the demon invasions and got to take care of that a little bit. I didn't do the Broken Shore until I got home just a couple hours ago, though, because I didn't want to mess it up with because there was a considerable amount of lag because it was probably satellite internet, but that's okay. But yeah, I had a great time. Really enjoyed it. Really got to enjoy and relax. And just like I didn't have to be anywhere at a certain time for anything. Like there were no clocks were needed. Just like I just wake up whenever I want to. I'll go to bed whenever I want to. It was a lot of fun.
That's
so yeah,
awesome.
So that's what I did the last few days. I'm still on vacation technically till Sunday, I guess. So it was a good time though. Yeah,
good.
I enjoyed it. I know you've been pretty busy getting some apparel together and other things.
I have. And so first I got to ask you this though. Do you guys have to struggle with mosquitoes out where you guys were?
Yes. We didn't stay much outside at night for that simple fact because it is, there's a lot of mosquitoes. Not so much here where I live, but up there and when I grew up, just mosquitoes everywhere at night. And so I just stayed away, keep the doors shut, windows shut. Just don't even bother with it because I don't like mosquitoes. I've never liked them anyway.
No, and they are
nothing good.
August is the worst month in the Midwest for mosquitoes. It's awful. And I mean, yesterday it was super humid, and I was working with Pat. It was super humid out, and his dog Darla really, really wanted to go out for a walk, and so and I've been trying to be more active. I've been trying to make sure I go out for walks every day. So 2:30 in the afternoon, we go out there. It's like a sauna out there.
Oh yeah.
And I got eaten up just going out and walking in a little bit of a wooded area in a park that's right down the street from his office.
Ugh.
I come home and I am so bit, and every time, like, I really want to claw my skin off right now because it's driving me crazy. The itching. It's like my arm, my fingers, my ankles. So mosquitoes are the worst, and I hate them, and I'm going to just
That's
grump
making
about
me
it.
itchy just
Right?
thinking about that.
I know, and it's like you
Haven't
can't
even
sleep
been
because you're
bit.
itching, and it's like I hate this so much. So
My
yeah,
arm's itchy. Ugh. Don't like it. I don't like it.
I've been so grouchy today because I've been so itchy. So yeah, I just wanted to ask that. Okay, so
Mosquitoes suck.
mosquitoes. So I made myself crack up today because I'm so grouchy and grumpy about the fact that I'm itching, and I'm like, mosquitoes can suck it. Wait. I realized what I said in my head, and I had to put a tweet out because I thought it was really funny. Like, oh, yeah, I'm really punny right now.
Yeah. Just it's a little bit punny.
Little bit punny. Anyway, so talking about apparel. This week we got a chance to reveal the shirt designs for the Well Played Kickstarter that were commissioned by that, for the new Convert to Raid Guild logo, the new Drinking and Swearing logo, which was a brand new one we were putting together, and this special project for the Kickstarter that we were doing for our You and a Friend package. So we had this challenge of making these shirts that would stand alone individually, but when you stood together, they made another cool image, right?
Yeah.
So we tapped on the shoulder of the amazing Zoe Zazu, who is one of the badge babes. She did Marconin's and my badge this year, and for BlizzCon, and we were trying to come up with an idea. She and her husband Hansi came up with the concept that we were trying to the idea, where she designed a Murloc, Cho and Gall. And then they're casting spells. Now, obviously, Cho and Gall don't both cast spells, but that's okay. But they cast a spell, and each one gets one that comes out of their hand in this beautiful spell effect. And when you stand together, it makes a heart.
That's awesome.
It was so cool. So, so yeah, it was a cool week for me because every year we've been doing these shirts and things like that, but because I was doing this as a side thing in the evenings and whenever I could find a little bit of extra time, we never really got a chance to work it, to really come up with concepts and really just dig in and just make stuff. And this year we can, because I'm doing it full time. And it's the one thing I can focus on, which is so cool. So the CTR Guild logo is a vintage style logo. And when we revealed that the other day, everybody who saw it just went bonkers.
Including me.
Including Marconin.
I was like, what in the world is this? I love it.
Yeah. And so because we didn't, if I had done this right, if I had done it the way I wanted it to, I would have gotten the logos done before the Kickstarter, but cart before horse, it wasn't working. And so we had to do it backwards, which is not the ideal way to do it. But, lessons learned. And next year we'll be able to pull it all out beforehand, and it'll be amazing.
Yeah.
So the Kickstarter came, people bought the shirts not knowing what they were going to look like. And now people are seeing them and going, I want one. And so we've decided to create a Teespring campaign, which is awesome because you can now choose between different shirt colors. There are ladies' shirts options. There's a sweatshirt, a pullover sweatshirt option, and multiple color choices for the shirt. And that's at teespring.com/CTR vintage. That's the short link that you can go to. And you guys have been so super nice about the design. Pat Crane and I both came up with the idea, the concept. We gave it to the screen print designer, and they made it a reality. So and so super stoked by it. I was so proud. Like, to show it off.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm so proud of the work we did.
Well, and I'm proud of it too, because I mean, I was one of those people that bought both the shirt designs before knowing what they would be, just because I mean, the last shirt, I still love the last shirt I got.
Yeah, I'm wearing the one from last year.
Yeah, you're wearing it right now. Yeah,
and that's the one from last year.
Yeah, and so I knew I needed to get it anyway, and to see those shirts, I'm like, oh yeah, it's not one of those things. I was gonna wear it anyway, but now it's like, that is awesome. I am going to. I need to buy an extra one because I'm going to wear it out wearing it so much.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely going to get extras. I showed other people and they're like, oh, I think I make want to get that shirt now that I see it. That looks really cool.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, we have more people that'll want to buy it. So it's awesome that we have a chance to buy it again.
Yes. And the Teespring campaign is for until September 1st. It was so what it's going to do is the campaign, we just have to clear a threshold, which is 10. I mean, we're almost there anyway, to be able to fulfill the campaign, quote unquote. And then you can have the choice of having them shipped to us and we'll bring it to BlizzCon for you, or you can have it shipped directly to your home for a shipping cost. If you have it shipped directly to us, then you don't pay any shipping. So but you gotta wait until we bring it to BlizzCon in November. So there's the drawback there. But it's got good international shipping prices. Natani and MacGyver were giving me props because the Teespring shipping costs for international weren't too bad.
Awesome.
So that was great. And we can do more than one campaign. So that's a super cool thing too. So we're trying it out. This is something I've never done before. I had this idea of how we were going to do it. We're trying it out as a test and it seems to be going well as it is. So yeah. Caspiness, who designed it, me and Pat Crane designed the logo. We, as a committee, came up with the idea of doing vintage this year. And so Pat and I sat down and we went and looked at reference images and we drew up a sketch in our minds, gave the designer the reference sketches and said, do this. And they did. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was super, super cool. Yeah. Anyway, so there's that. The other thing that we are doing right now, of course, for the show is we are ramping up to episode 200. This is episode 197, so we are 3 more episodes away to 200, and we're giving stuff away thanks to Tanker1, who has donated 4 Funko Pops from Overwatch to the show. And you guys can get in on the action. Those that are watching right now, as we're doing the show live, they're earning points to buy raffle tickets. However, you don't have to. You don't have to watch to be able to get it because each person gets 1 raffle ticket for free. You just have to go use it. The quick link to get there, it's over through Revlo.com. It's actually Revlo.co. But the tiny URL for this is tinyurl.com/Tauren200. And you can get entered in, even if you can't watch us live because you're in a different time zone or you work or what it is, you can still get in with 1 entry. You just have to go to the link and redeem it, and you need a Twitch account to do it. That's all you got to do.
And Twitch account is free.
Twitch account is free. Yes. So it's benefiting you if you can sit and watch. And, if you can't, you can still be in the chat room and not be here. You could log in and watch twitch.tv/Tauren Think Tank and not be at your computer. As long as the bot is tracking loyalty because you're in there, then it will be giving you points and you will be able to buy a raffle ticket for every 10 points that you earn. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, you could be outside mowing the lawn, having it go and earn up points. You could be playing chess. You could be watching Stranger Things on Netflix, which I still have to finish.
Oh my gosh. Are you watching that show?
Yes, I finished the 6th episode. I think so I'm on the 7th episode.
Oh my gosh.
Stuff's getting real.
I finished it on Saturday and I love it. I love it.
I need to finish it soon.
Yeah. You've got 3 more? You're on episode 6?
I just finished 6, so I'm on 7.
7 and 8. You got 2 more.
Okay, yeah.
You have to find out how it ends.
I know, I want to because it's good. I love it.
Let's see what else. What else has been going on? So we've been playing. I have been back in WoW. I did the Broken Shore scenario. I have not done my Demon Hunter yet. I was waiting for this weekend actually to do that so that I could sit down and really focus on the experience. 'Cause the starting area sounds like it's super cool, and I want to focus on it. And I don't want to rush through it. And I tend to get distracted. And a lot of times on weeknights, I'm working as freelance for my old job, doing just like administrative work that can be done like on off hours when nobody's at work. So I can't play games while I'm doing this because it's like, but I'm usually like, there's a Twitch stream on this side, and there, whatever. I work with a lot of noise around me, I guess. But yeah, so yeah, I'm definitely. And Marconin doesn't have. You've got the collector's edition, so you don't have the ability to get the Demon Hunter right now.
Yeah, it'll come in around the 30th, and I'll get to play it then. But that's okay. I mean, I've saved the name. I've done the starting experience as much that's in the beta. I mean, there's no cinematics in there, so I kind of know the story. I kind of know pretty much how to do it and how to play a Demon Hunter. So I've made it, and I've actually taken screenshots of mine because it's going to be a female night elf. Is what she's going to be. I decided to do that because male night elves, they look really clunky and awkward looking. So I just made it. I'm going to make mine a female Demon Hunter. And so I took screenshots of what she looks like so that I can just recreate her in the live game and just be ready to roll on the 30th.
Perfect.
Can't wait. Although, if you haven't done Broken Shore, bring a tissue or 2 or 3 because for some reason, right at the end, I got stuff in my eyes. I think there's like dust or something in my eyes, and I had to I just, my eyes teared up from that. So I don't know what the deal is with that. Maybe they put that in the cinematic for, your computer fan to blow dust in your eyes so you tear up. I mean, I think that's what it is. So.
The cats were chopping onions in the other room for me.
That happens too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely do that.
So the funny story behind that is that I was at Pat's house, in the office working when everything released, and so he has an older gaming computer in the office where I am, and then he was in the studio with his gaming computer, and so he's in, and I can hear everything through his speakers as he's going through. So he's like, "Come here," and I came into the room, and he's watching like part of the cinematic that's showing the Broken Shore's storyline, and of course, and I see something, and I'm like, "Wait, what?" And then I watched it, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh! Like, why did I watch this? I should have just done this myself." And so, and of course, Pat's like, "Oh, I already knew how this happened." I'm like, "I didn't know."
Thanks for ruining it for me, jerk.
Totally spoiled it, that jerk of a boss.
Jeez.
So he's all casual, like, "Oh, I already knew what happened," and I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah, it's whatever. This thing happens.
So I go back into the office. I boot up the old computer. I have to disable all of his add-ons because I can't play with his add-ons on there. And so I'm without any add-ons trying to work through to get through the scenario to watch it. And watched it. And then I said, okay, well, now I've got to watch the Horde scenario. At least watch the cinematic, and you can do that on MMO Champion or Wowhead, and so that's what I did. So then no spoilers. I'm not giving any spoilers at all. Just that you can do that. So
yeah, the chat room's saying that you need to complain to HR about the spoilers. You need to go to HR.
Yeah, Darla, Pat's dog, is probably, that's what Arlena said. Is Darla HR? No, because Darla likes to come up behind me and goose me. She's a big chocolate lab, and I'll be standing in the doorway, and all of a sudden the dog's nose is up my keister, and I'm like, "Woo!"
Hello.
Hi. I just became a soprano for a few minutes.
Oh man.
All right. We should probably do the show. Let's start off by saying, hey guys, we only had one letter this week. So we're only going to do one letter. And if we don't receive more letters, we understand people are busy. It's summertime, vacations, all that stuff. And so we're going to start coming up with our own topics. So you better watch out. Because we can come up with some wacko ones. But, if you've got letters, send them. But someone made a comment recently, like, I'm running out of problems and running out of things to talk about or to write you guys about.
Well, that's a problem right there.
Right? Like, we don't want
know?
you guys to have problems, but we do. And it's kind of weird. So...
But yeah, if you've got an idea or a suggestion or a question, I mean, you don't even have to have a direct question. Maybe even just a broad topic that we can kind of just talk around and try and find something to talk about. Then you can go ahead and send that in through the regular channels. You know, you can talk to us on the Discord server. You can email questions at taurentthinktank.com. All of those ways just to get in touch with us. You guys know how to get in touch with us. So any kind of questions, ideas, we'll take anything.
Exactly.
We'll entertain any idea.
I think so. Again, we don't need any more letters about how to recruit for your guild. That's, we've gotten enough of those. But, questions about interpersonal topics or things that are going on in the world of the gamer as a person. Yeah, that's right up our alley, but you guys know that. Okay, Let's go ahead and hit up our discussion topic of the week.
Let's kick around some... ideas, not gnomes.
Poor little Nomi.
Mm-hmm.
This letter comes from an anonymous writer, an anonymous male writer, so we will call him Torrance. I'm going to be 29 this year. I served 6 years in the U.S. Air Force as an aircraft electrician, including overseas. I've been married twice. I have a 5-year-old daughter who lives in Michigan while I live in Tennessee. I have a great girlfriend who I've been with for a year now. But as I get closer to 30, I can't help but focus on the things I have not accomplished, goals I've had but failed to meet. I don't have a college degree. I've never been to college, period. I don't have a savings account, and while I live on 2 acres that I own, the house I live in is actually a double wide that's falling apart. My girlfriend and I are planning on buying a house with my VA home loan in the next 2 years or so. But the biggest problem I have is that I literally have zero contact with anyone besides my girlfriend and sometimes coworkers or customers. I have friends on Facebook from my military days, but we don't talk. I get along with my coworkers in a work sense, but let's be honest here. I'm an industrial mechanic working in the South. I hate to throw stereotypes around, but how many computer nerds are you going to meet in that setting? Not many. I've been a nerd my whole life, ever since I was about 8 or 9, and played Earthsiege 2 on my 486. I'm a bleeding heart liberal atheist working in one of the most socially conservative career fields in the country, in the buckle of the Bible Belt. On top of that, my work weeks are anywhere from 50 to 70 hours long, and I do not consistently get off work at the same time, or even come home from work from the same place every day due to the nature of my job. This has led me to try to make friends online. I'm in AIE on Earthen Ring and also in CTR. I've tried to barge my way into online friendships through Patreon. I've backed podcasts and content creators in the past just to get into their private Slack chat or chat rooms, thinking I could buy friends. Obviously, that's not how it works, but I've done it, and I'm not proud of it. I'm not exactly sure where I'm going with this. I guess I'm wanting to know from a disinterested and removed third party, how did you all feel about coming up on 30? And how do I do the thing with the making friends and the whatnot without being a borderline sociopathic weirdo about it? Thank you very much. From Torrance.
All righty, let's see. 30. Jules, do you remember turning 30?
Yeah,
I mean, it was so long ago.
It's 12 years ago. I mean, it kind of was. Like, I turning 40, I think, was harder for me than turning 30. So it's, but I remember turning 30 and thinking that I really had nothing. I knew nothing when I was in my 20s. Like, I really did feel like I was a butthead in my 20s. I mean, I'm serious. Like, if you guys had met me when I was in my 20s, it's a totally different person than I am today, because my experiences and my the paths that I've taken and the choices that I've made have just opened my eyes to so many things, right? So for Torrance, it's like I feel like he is doing what a lot of us do is we say, by the age of blank, I should have done this and this and this and this and this and this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You set up milestones for yourself, and more times than not, you won't reach them.
Right.
You won't even come close to them.
And so
Life gets in the way.
Yeah. And so I want to ask you this question because it's something that happened to me, and I'm wondering if it was the same for you. So when I was in my 20s, my early 20s, I really did feel like I had to be married by a certain age in my 20s to be acceptable.
It was a little bit like that for me because like I was born when my dad was 26, about 26 years old. And so I kind of thought around 25 was when I would probably get married, start having kids about then. Because, that's the only example that I can really pull from is my own experience with my parents. And I was in one of the musical fraternities, sororities, social groups in college. And the new recruits they like to ask the current members, they have to fill out surveys and get to know all of the current members of the fraternity. And one of the questions is, where are you going to be in 5 years? And I remember telling people pretty much the same thing. I was like, well, I'm, in 5 years, I'll be, married with a couple of kids and working in radio or working in broadcasting or own an arcade or any of that stuff. None of that stuff came true because I didn't get married when I was 25. I didn't have any kids, still don't have any kids. And I don't technically work in radio. So, I mean, none of the things have come true. So that was always a constant reminder as I was getting older about those, answering those questions that way. Because that was, I didn't have a specific, you have to be this by then, or I expect that I'm going to be this by then. But it was just at the back of my head. Because, I mean, I'm kind of like Torrance. Like, I don't think I've done enough with the years I've had so far. I mean, there's more stuff that I wanted to do. I figured I would have been more successful. I figured I'd, be living in my own place by this point. I'd be financially secure. All these things that you'd think someone in their mid 30s would have it together. Most of them do. Most of them, the one telling thing was going to the 10-year high school reunion, and people who are in pre-med, they're about to be doctors or they're almost doctors, and I'm just sitting there like, oh. Okay, I didn't apply myself as much as I should have in college. Kind of hits your ego a bit. And I know it's bad to compare yourself to other people, but it kind of reminded me of hey, you were supposed to get more things done by this point in your life, remember? And it was kind of reminding myself.
Let me ask. Okay, so because I have a feeling this is going down the road where I wanted the conversation to hit for Torrance, because I feel like. Mm-hmm. I feel like what he is doing is he's saying, I want to have accomplished more, and yet he hasn't accomplished what he wants yet. And there's a difference between the two. You can go out and accomplish a whole bunch of stuff, but if it doesn't push you towards the direction that you want to be in, then you're just spinning your wheels, right? So is it the difference between doing the things that you think you should do versus the things that you want to do? And so here's my example. When I was in my 20s, I was, I was dating a guy in college that then I moved in with, moved from Pennsylvania to Illinois with him, and we got a place together, and eventually we bought a house together, and eventually we did get married. And I thought when I graduated from college at 21, then I'm like, I should be married by 25 at the latest. Like in my mind, that was the thought that I needed to do in order to become accomplished, or whatever it was that, fulfilled, or, and I did it for the wrong reasons. Obviously I wasn't married to him. It took 5 years and we were divorced because it wasn't the right guy. I just did it because I thought it was supposed to be that way. Right. Right. He was a good guy, and we had a decent life, and we were comfortable financially, and I didn't have any other goals. And so it seemed like the great thing. And then all of a sudden, we get married and we move in together, we buy this house, and then it's like everything is just not right. And then, so I feel like when you're in your 20s, and especially, I gotta go there, but especially females, women have this pressure to be married or committed or, locked down by a certain day.
Or have kids by a certain age.
Right. So,
that too.
So, and Torrance, our writer, has been married twice and has had a child. And so, I don't know why I'm compelled to say this. I just feel like it's the right thing to say here. So I'm just going to say it. I feel like you've gone through the motions of doing the things that you think you should do, but you haven't spent the time thinking about what you want to do because that wouldn't be right in your mind. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. And so, and 112 just said this in the chat room, wait for the right one. Age doesn't matter. And man, if I had only done that instead of having to, and I think a lot of us do this where we say, because our parents, especially women are, they're being pressured by their families. Like, when are you going to get married? When are you going to have kids? When are you blah, blah, blah. And so it's just, you are now expected to go through this life process at the pace that other people expect you to do it. But what about what you want?
Yeah. I mean, they're not living your life. You're living your life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
how old
yeah,
were
it's going
you
to be
when you
different.
got married?
Let me see. 28.
28.
Yeah, 28.
And I think that now people are a little bit more willing and accepted about getting married later on, not getting married to your 30s, later 20s, not getting married at 24, 25, which is exactly what I did. Is I got married at 25 and, and it, big old wedding and all that great stuff. And then, so Torrance has already been down this road, but I think my point being is for all of us is the reflection that I have at, when I was turning 30 is that I was a punk at 20 in my 20s. And the 30s really do bring you more clarity because you're past all of the stuff that, you're doing the emo, like, self-discovery, I don't know what I want to do with my life and I don't know how to do it and, that kind of thing. And you spend so much time in the early years, like setting up your career and then trying to get money and find a place to live. And it's just like there's the sequence of things that have to happen, and you may not be as mature as you should be to do with them all. Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes you're just not ready, but also, you got to think towards the future a little bit on it. Because I know for some of these, one of the things I wanted to touch on, where is it talking about not having a savings account?
Yes.
Or anything like that. That, my friend, just takes a little investment at the beginning. Like, you set up a schedule. I'm trying to be very practical because I realized when I was, when I was like 26 or 27, that I was like, I don't have anything for retirement. Like, I don't have anything. So luckily my work does a 401k and does a matching thing where they match a certain percentage. And so I maxed that out. I was like, I will take the hit now so that I can hopefully have something one day. Mm-hmm. And I check on it every once in a while just to make sure there's still money in there. And sure enough, we haven't tanked completely as an economy, so I still have some money in there. But I know that's not, and I do have a savings account. And that's something that takes, like, man, even if it's just 20 off each, like a $20 bill off each paycheck, mm-hmm. Throw it in there. I mean, that's $40 a month. That's $480 a year. Is that no? Is it like, isn't that? Is my math right?
Are you doing two paychecks a month?
Two paychecks a month, roughly, or 26 paychecks a year if it's mm-hmm. biweekly.
Yep.
That's however much that is. So that's something.
Marconin does math.
I just came off vacation. I have tired vacation brain, so I can't math right now. So just it takes a little bit of investment. It's something that's a conscious thought, a conscious effort, because it's easy to say, man, I wish I'd done this. It takes a lot more energy to say, okay, yeah, I haven't done that yet. what can I do about it today to change that? And that's really the important part. That's kind of the one thing I was wanting to touch on in this is like, it takes some serious sit down and make an effort, even if it's a small effort, to start it and keep going.
That's like
and
everything too. I mean,
just like everything, yeah.
This whole email is almost that, sitting down and taking the effort to do it. That's absolutely, yeah. One thing I'll add to your sit down and do it, go to reddit.com/r/personal finance and hit their FAQ. And it is a wonderful resource for getting started with investing and saving and, basic things to start saving for your future. Because you may get the VA home loan and you may get the house, but you've got moving costs, you've got furniture that you'll need to buy. You'll have to buy certain things that you don't have in your
home insurance.
Home insurance. And it is really, really helpful to start thinking about those things because you will need savings. I mean, hell, for me to move from Madison to Minneapolis was almost $2,500 just to move from state to state. And, and I got movers and, that kind of thing. But, then it's like security deposits. And when you're doing a buying of a home, you've got closing costs and insurance and taxes and, it's awful. Like you have to have a cushion to do it.
Yeah.
To move, to buy a place. So, again, that's reddit.com/r/personal finance. And that's a really, really good resource for anybody who is looking for help on, and go to their FAQ. Because there's a whole, they have their own Wikia that shows all of these details. It's really, really super cool. I've used it many, many times. So,
yeah, definitely. And another thing, you said you don't have a college degree, but you were an aircraft electrician in the Air Force. That's some serious skills. I mean, I don't know what you do right now, but you could go a couple ways. Do you really want a college degree? Because I know in some cases it's not the bee's knees. I mean, my college degree is collecting dust in a box somewhere. I don't even know where it is. I don't have it framed. I don't even know where it is. I have an idea of where it is, but I don't use it. I haven't used it since I got it in the mail. I mean, there's people that do what I do, getting paid much more than I do, that never went a day past high school.
Yeah, I mean, the degree is going to determine whether you go after a certain career or not. If there's a certain career that you really want that requires you a degree, then that's one thing.
That's one thing. Yeah, it's not the be all. It's not the measure of a man or a woman. Is the degree, is that piece of paper? All the piece of paper does is says that you can remember a lot of stuff and then regurgitate it out on a piece of paper when it's test time, and that you have some sort of social interaction because that's what it's determined. Spending 6 years in the Air Force and being an aircraft electrician says a lot about what you can know and what you learn. We are willing to go through rigorous stuff. I mean, I don't know how rigorous the training is for the Air Force, but I mean, it's more than I got. And that says something.
And he's an industrial mechanic now. So
yeah, industrial mechanic. That is some serious skills. The skill, like the skilled labor, pays a lot because not everybody wants to do it. And I'm sure you know that. I mean, there's people that, just go get a college degree and then something, and then expect to walk into their first job making 70, 80, 90,000 a year. It's not going to happen. You're going to start at the bottom rung of the ladder, and you're already several rungs up if you're doing all that. So I would definitely consider that a win. I wouldn't consider that, I don't have a piece of paper that says I knew stuff at one point, because I don't remember most of the stuff I learned in college. I remember some of the techniques, but that's not the measure of who you are, is with that piece of paper. So don't fret too much over that. Now, if there is something that you do want to get into and interested in, like Joel said, then you can start if that's something that you decide you want to do, that's when you need to do, kind of like with the savings account, what can I do now to start that process rolling? Can I get some basics out? How much would any credits transfer because of my military service? Let me go talk to, because I think there's military recruiters on campus or something. There's like the ROTC, the people who run that. They'll know how to do stuff like that. So that's a step you can go in that direction. So, I mean, you're at a crossroads when you're thinking about things. I mean, we're always at a series of crossroads throughout our lives. We make decisions every day that change the course of our lives. What are you going to do now to change your life and steer it in that direction? You can fret the past till the cows come home, eat dinner and go to sleep. But it's not going to change a thing until you decide to do something about it. Nothing ever changes if you don't change nothing. That's what my mom always tells me, and it's true. So you've got to make a decision. You got to decide. Okay, don't fret about what you didn't do. Plan on what you want to do. Mm-hmm. That's what you got to do. Get off your duff and do it. You're very successful in what you do already. If you want to continue that career, then by all means keep at it, because that demands a lot of attention to detail and a lot of professional skill. Mm-hmm. So I definitely wouldn't discount that. I have to think about that sometimes whenever I fret about my job. I was like, yeah, I'm doing something, it doesn't take very much training, but then I go through and think that, well, of all the times I've had to pull a rabbit out of my hat and invent a way for it to work, because I work with my hands and sometimes it just doesn't work. So I have to go into my brain and figure out how it works, Google it, do all this extra stuff, and I have to know how to find out how to do this. Mm-hmm. And so those skills, I'm like, well, that's not too bad. So there's ways to find admiration in what you do, because you're good at it. Mm-hmm. So don't discount that either.
It's true. And so we should talk about the making friends part. Mm-hmm. Because I think that's a big part of this as well. And so, kind of going through the process of moving through your 20s, and then for us, Marconin is in his 30s. I am in my early 40s. I am 42. And so, and the friends that I have today are not the same friends that I had when I was in my 30s. Mm-hmm. And they were not the same friends that I had in my 20s. And, I think I really do believe that there are going to be people that will enter and exit your life for reasons. And they're supposed to be there and they're supposed to be gone. Because it's about the phases of your life. Now, you have a situation where you work and you live in an area that is not really conducive to the hobbies and type of people that you enjoy. Marconin and I met through the internet. Mm-hmm. My boss right now, the guy who has been my friend for 4 years, Pat Crane, we met through the internet. When we go to BlizzCon and we do Well Played and we have this party, we met those people, every single one of them. We met them through the internet. And my closest, dearest friends have come through the internet. They weren't local. I've made them local now because I moved to an area where some of them are. But I think that we have to reshape sometimes our belief in how do we make friends and how do we connect with people. And sometimes it means you've got to go and maybe go to where some of those people are. Going to a convention, going to a meetup, going to something where you are out, BlizzCon, of course, is the be all end all. And if you can't afford that, that's awesome. Understood, all of that stuff. But, sometimes it's about thinking about how you can connect with people outside of the world, the circle that you're in, because I really found that when I just kind of stepped away from that and said, I'm never really going to find a lot of people who I connect with who live in Madison, Wisconsin. It was hard for me to find those people. And then there was like this whole world of them once I started to actually look at it from that perspective. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does make sense. Because, that's the great thing about the internet is that you can find people who are into whatever thing, no matter how obscure, you can find more people that are into that thing. Mm-hmm. It's a great meeting place. Yeah. I know that doesn't help any if you want to just, kick back after work and have a beer with a buddy and just, talk or go bowling or, just, do whatever. Because that's, for me, most of my friends are online because, like him, I worked long hours. I worked overnights and I traveled. So I didn't have any friends really other than my online friends and my old college friends. There's no, I made a couple of friends at some of the stores because they would transfer and work with us. So I made friends. And I even made friends that were my coworkers, and we didn't have a lot of stuff in common. The guy I roomed with for 2 years is, was pretty much my polar opposite on philosophy, on outlook on life. But we still found common ground, and we still enjoyed the common ground, and we didn't argue over the differences. We enjoyed the similarities.
Yeah, but you were there as convenience. It wasn't like you chose to spend time with each other.
That's true.
You know,
I mean, I made the best of it, best of my situation. And then I think, I don't know. I think that people that have different outlooks can still be friends on some things.
Yeah.
It's not a complete, it's like, well, I can't be friends with anybody because this is my outlook on life and this is what I think. So I'm just
No, I think that's fair. The problem is that would you go out seeking that person's time, or would you be like, hey, you're cool and I can respect you, but I don't, like, are you going out of your way to hang out with someone whose fundamental personality clashes with yours?
Well, I mean, as well, personality is different from some of your outlooks, I think, because personality is just how you act and react. Because there's people with my same set of beliefs and philosophies and everything that react vastly different, that would not want to be friends with 85% of the people who I'm friends with.
Yeah.
But it's my ability to see the person as who they are and enjoy their time and their company and, and just enjoy them as friends. Like, I'm able to do that. Not everybody is. That's like people unfriending somebody because they're voting for the other party in the election. It's like, that's like one layer to who that person is. And it's much deeper than that. You are more than who you are in a voting booth, for crying out loud. And so, I don't know. It can be kind of weird because, like, I don't know what part of Tennessee it is. If it's Nashville or Memphis, there's tons and tons of people. But if it's way in the middle of nowhere, then yeah, you may have a harder time, hooking up with like-minded folks and people you can talk with and be able to hang out with. But like I said, the internet is a great way to find people.
Yeah.
And you don't want to, like I said, you don't want to buy friends. Like that's like you said, it didn't, like you said, Torrance, in the letter, it didn't work.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's not gonna form a meaningful connection with somebody. But what you can do is you can be a part of these communities that form around if you're doing like podcaster groups or things like that. So I see this all the time, especially if you watch Twitch streams or people who, people will wind up finding connections between other people, or Discord chats where they start talking about conversations. I see I think the biggest obstacle for most of us, though, is taking the initiative to say, so Marconin let's say Marconin posts a picture of somewhere that he went on vacation. Okay, let's do a scenario here. Well, Marconin posts a picture. I don't know him, and he posts this picture of this cool place that he went on vacation. Or something that connects to me because I'm like, oh my gosh, I know where that is. And I can respond to him and say, hey, I've been there. What did you think? You need to find the ability and the entry to just say, hey, I want to connect with you. Or if someone is in a Twitch chat saying, I just rolled a demon hunter and I don't know what I'm doing. And, and you're like, hey, I totally know what I'm doing and I'd love to talk about it a little bit. It's taking the effort to put yourself out there and respond to someone with the risk of being rejected. You know what it is? It's the scary part of saying this person could just blow me off, or they might not like me, or they may not respond to me, or we may just run out of things to talk about. But the thing is you've got to try.
I mean, that's the first step, is you got to put yourself out there, make yourself a little bit vulnerable to letting it happen.
Yeah.
And I know, kind of like what I've noticed, talking about our community with the Triple T Discord server, that's an idea, because you don't have to necessarily be there live talking all the time you can just kind of, I've seen friendships sprout up between people in our community as well as on, other like the CTR Discord server and all that stuff. It's a place where you can kind of keep track of the chat and, interject sometimes and add your, and talk about things like, guys, what do you think about this? And then you just start the conversation off. I mean, it's like with anything else with making friends. It's just, you're there online and you can always go back to it. So it's just, that's one thing I might suggest is kind of just putting yourself out there in some of these communities that you're a part of and that you've got interest in, because we know you play WoW because you're in AIE and CTR. I mean, and those are two of the biggest guilds on the planet.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, it can almost feel too big. That's why you just kind of, put yourself out there, and that way maybe you'll attract people to you and you can kind of meet together. It's not about always you going to find friends. It's about sometimes friends finding you.
Yeah. There's an interesting thing about when you, like, there are some people that are not really good about posting something into an ether space, like Discord or something like that, and just saying, hey guys, what do you think of this? Because more times than not, it's not a quick response, and then you sit there and you go, oh man, nobody liked what I had to say, and I don't like doing it. Like I really don't, because if somebody doesn't respond back at least like within the first 15 minutes of posting something like that, I'm like, oh my god, I suck. Oh my god, I fail. Like it's all those things where you just feel like you're like, nobody is interested in what I have to say. So if you're like me, then perhaps it's more about contributing to the conversation that's already started. Or, or have a comment to add within the conversation, or directly addressing someone else's comment in a way that's, conversational. And that's a way that you can start to build, instead of just kind of throwing information out in the ether and just being like, I like pie, like that's not going to get you a conversation. I mean, people are like, some people might go, oh, cake is better, but just making a blanket statement isn't going to just incite conversation.
No.
But like if Marconin says something like, "Hey, I'm thinking about rolling a demon hunter and I don't know what to do," and someone else says, "Oh, you should do blah 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 blah," and say, that other person says, "I think this is a really cool way to start," and you go, "Oh yeah, I agree with Jules that that's a really good place to do," and now I'm like, "Oh, well, thank you, random person, for supporting my claim," and then sometimes that just opens the door. But you may you're gonna have to make an effort no matter what. There's like, friends don't walk up and just be like, "Hi, I'm your friend now."
Yeah, I mean, and this is kind of it. You said making an effort to make friends, and we were talking earlier about making an effort to save and making an effort if you want to do something different. It's kind of like a theme of motivation. Like, you got to get motivated to do these things. And I know it's hard to make friends. It really is. And it's hard to change your career or to change your financial situation. But if you want it bad enough, you will do something to change it, to start. And so that's why we're giving you these suggestions on kind of how to get the ball rolling. It's just getting the ball rolling that's the hard part. Mm-hmm. And I think that's something that you can that you would benefit from doing, is getting the ball rolling on some of these things.
Yeah. In Convert to Raid Guild, we just introduced in our raid team finder, we just introduced the small group option. So if you were looking to make a team of 5 to run the mythic dungeons, the mythic plus dungeons, that kind of thing, instead of going in with a raid team or joining a group that was doing mythic 5s, that's an option as well, because it's smaller, more intimate. Chances are you'll get to know each other a little bit better, or just going out there and seeing who is looking to pick up with the group. You're just, because you have a random schedule, because it's hard for you to know where you're going to be, it's hard to commit to certain times to say, I'm going to be here. But I've seen it time and time and time again where if you can make time for certain activities, like hang out in a certain Twitch stream or hang out in a Discord server or chat in the guild, to try to be on at relatively the same times, that you'll start to build a routine, and people will start to recognize you. And sometimes and then you can be like, hey, does anybody want to play Overwatch, or, that kind of thing. And, I've seen this all the time in Discord servers, like, anybody around to play Overwatch? And people are like, yeah, let's go play. And then they start playing it out, and then they just do more stuff. And it's just, you got to make an effort. And if you don't, it's going to be really much more challenging to connect with people, just because everybody's got the same issues. We're all nervous and uncomfortable talking to other people. But if someone shows an interest in us, we're like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know with your work schedule, it can seem like you don't have enough time to do it, but but that that's kind of where those things you can contribute to while not being there live kind of work out, like with the Discord and other things like that, just in case. Because I know for me, working was a big excuse for not being able to do things for a very long time for me, and I had to just do what I can when I could, and so that's something to think about as well. Is just doing what you can when you can. I mean, if you can't make the live stream of X streamer or Y person on the internet every week, then that's fine. Find some other way to be social. They may have a Discord server, or they may do something. They may, there's always ways to kind of figure stuff out.
Yeah, and the other thing I would say too is just, be kind to yourself. Be kind and comfortable with the fact that you can make friends with people. It's just going to take a little bit of effort, and sometimes outside your comfort zone. Going to in-person meetups where people were was one of the scariest things that I had ever done, but it changed my life. And going to Nerdtacular 2012 it was nerve-wracking as hell, and I had a spouse with me at the time, and it was still nerve-wracking as hell. But it was the first time that I'd ever done anything like that, where I'd gone to a place where I had known or at least been somewhat familiar with people in a very kind of roundabout sense. And I wound up meeting some friends that are still friends to this day from that experience. But I did have to go outside my comfort zone, and it is expensive to travel, and I get it, but we live in a world where our friendships are formed in a pretty non-traditional way most times. And so you might have to accept the fact that that's going to be a little bit of the way that we find each other.
Yeah. And Bim in the chat room earlier said that meetup.com is a great tool for meeting local people.
Yep.
So, I mean, and that could be within driving distance. You
Sure.
could go to events or hangouts or meetups or something like that. So definitely give that a shot and see what's there. And just see what's out there. There'd be meetings for lots of things you're into that you don't even know about.
Yeah. And I'm going to just try not to itch my arm right now because my mosquito bite is crazy again.
Itchy.
Oh my gosh, I'm so itchy right now. I can't stand it.
I tell you what, growing up right behind or right in front of a rice field in the summer is awful because rice grow in standing water. Acres of standing water. Like we had to have a fan blowing air across our main entrance and the door to my house growing up to try and blow the mosquitoes away, to keep them away from the door. It's like when you walk into a supermarket and you get that big rush of air down to kind of keep the hot air out and the cold air in. It was like that. But for mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes.
And I still got eaten up.
I hate them. They're no good. I can't stand them. Okay, so I think we've covered everything with this question. And again, Torrance, I think that there's a lot here for you, and so I think you're gonna need to do a little bit of soul searching and think about the things that it is that you want from this life, and not necessarily what you think you should do. I mean, there's going to be things as a functional member of society that you need to do. You need to, find employment and earn a living so that you can pay your bills and to live on your own and, things like that.
Take care of your loved ones and
right.
all that.
There's things that you have to do, But at the same time, you have to kind of put yourself within the box of saying, am I doing this because this is what's expected of me? Or is this something that I'm okay with doing or want to be doing?
Mm-hmm.
Because those are the two things that you have to look at there.
Yeah. And let us know what you think, Torrance. Let us know what you think. And I mean, if anything changes and you get an update, please let us know, because we'd love to hear how things go for you.
Absolutely. We like updates. They're good.
We love them. We don't want to just kind of talk to people and then like, okay, thanks, and then they go out into the ether forever.
Yeah.
We want to know if our ideas or what we said help, or if they didn't help, then give us more feedback.
Yeah.
Because then that may change the way we help other people in the future. We love hearing from you as much, if not more so, than you love hearing us talk. Or hearing from us on every week. We want to know, how we did. It's like a little comment card you leave, or a oh shoot, what's the name of the website where you leave reviews?
Yelp.
Yeah, we're like a Yelp. I want to know, those Yelp reviews for Tauren Think Tank. We got to see how we stack up.
Yeah.
So please let us know. Let us know, because we care. That's why we take the time to talk to you guys, because we care about not just your problems. You guys aren't just fodder for whatever we're going to talk about this week. We want to help, and we like to talk about these things because we care about you, because you're one of us. You're in our circle. Not only are you a gamer, but you're a gamer who enjoys podcasting, and you're kind of in the Blizzard family, and you're a human being, so you're part of our family anyway.
Yeah. So
we care about you, and we want to hear back from you. So please let us know. And that goes not just for Torrance, but for anybody. Just let us know. We're coming up on 200 episodes. That's a lot of people to talk about and talk to. So
yeah, it's funny. It's funny that you bring this up, because I had just been reflecting on this same thing recently. Thinking about from a perspective of we have episode 200 coming up. We're doing the audio recording, which we haven't mentioned at the top of the show. We'll mention again that if you guys want to be a part of the audio compilation that we're doing for episode 200 by sending us your /moo, then you can do that. You can just record yourself saying /moo or /moo everybody, or whatever you want to do with your greeting, and then send it in audio. Make it air
friendly.
Air friendly. Yes.
Yeah. Something that we could put on a broadcast station.
But I was, and this is kind of philosophical, but I was thinking about this, is that when you're a podcaster, you kind of live in a vacuum.
Mm-hmm.
And we have the chat room, and we have the ability to watch their reactions to the things that we talk about, and they can, but the chat room is a very, very, very small percentage of the number of people who actually listen to shows, because it's, time that people can carve out to actually be there. But most of the time content is, I think our chat room is like a 1% of our entire listening audience. It's something that small. And so, and a lot of times we'll go, there will be weeks or even months that go by and we don't hear anything about, people are like, hey, good show. And then we go to some place like BlizzCon or a meetup or something like that, and people will actually pull us aside and say, I listened to Tauren Think Tank and I love the show, and you've helped me with this and help me with this. And it's like that one time of year or 2 times a year that I actually get to hear about what people think about the show. And, I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm rambling a little bit because it was in my head, and I'm like, we do this because people really enjoy it. We know people enjoy it. Like when Rem left the show and I was contemplating whether or not to keep it going, and and then then it was the search for a new co-host. It was like people came out of nowhere and were like, you better keep this going because I can't live without it. And I'm like, well, whoa, I didn't even I had no idea that you guys were this passionate about it, because it's every podcaster goes through this. It's a vacuum. We talk into our microphones to each other. We post the show and you guys consume it. And we really never hear what's in your head as you listen to us, because it would take the time. You have to take the time and to write in and say, this is what I think, and this is, and people are busy, and it's just part of life. And so I thought about this, and I'm like, yeah, it's hard sometimes to know. It's hard to know for sure how people really perceive what you do until you see them in person. And then they're like, when someone hugs you and crushes you almost to the core and says, like, you saved my life. And I go, well, wait a minute. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. And, and that's why it's kind of important for us for this episode 200. We want to hear from people.
Yeah.
To send in your /moo, your audio /moo. We want you to be heard on the show, because I know I would think that was really awesome, and I would want to do that. And so please flood the email with just, be like, hey, this is, Johnny from Nashville /moo, or, whatever, or it could just be a /moo, anything, because you guys are the Moo Crew, whether you listen, or whether you're on the Patreon, a patron or non-patron, as long as you listen to the show, you're on the Moo Crew.
Yeah.
And we love all you guys, and we sometimes, like Joel said, we'll go for a long time without any feedback, and I know it could be good or bad. I don't care. I just like feedback, because we do this anyway. As long as we can, we'll do it.
I realize it kind of sounds a little it's like sob story-ish. I don't mean it to sound like that.
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all.
I just, what I'm saying is basically is like we Garrus is getting into a spot. Hang on. So we wind up doing our show every week, or as much as we can, for everything that's gone on this year. And it winds up being a situation where you just don't always hear about the reaction that people have. And, it'll be like maybe once every couple of months we'll get a response to say, thank you for what you do. And, which is awesome. And I get to that point where I'm just like, yeah. And then I'll go to BlizzCon and I'm inundated with it. Like, it's amazing and it's awesome. And it's like, okay, this is why I do this every week. Like, I will still do it every week. And, but it's just, it kind of occurred to me as we're almost closing in on 200 episodes, and how much the show has been through.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool. But that's why this episode 200 compilation is really important to me. It's just like, we want to hear, like, you guys have sent your letters in for years, but we want to hear, and we want others to hear what the show means to them after 200 created podcasts, And yes, it's selfish. I will agree. I mean, I'm selfish about it, but I never get to hear it, so I want to know. Because it does mean the world to me to hear about it and to hear from people about what it is that the show has meant to them. And
on top of that, you get to be on the air.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, for me, that's the cool part. I mean, that was one reason why I started doing clips for the instance, is because I wanted to, and because I thought it'd really be really cool to hear me on the radio. Well, that's why I started working at a radio station to begin with in college, is because I thought it was cool. Yeah, every time you ever called into a radio show and then you got to hear yourself on the radio, and you're like, you got that really crazy butterfly feeling in your stomach where you're like, that's me. Oh, man. Like, oh my God, that's me. Yeah. Do you remember how many times have you called into a radio show? A lot of times I tried, and then I only got through like 1 or 2 times. And when I did, I was so nervous. Like, it was so like, I'd like to make a dedication to Bobby. I don't know who Bobby is. Was that the first time you got through? Because the first time I went through, it was really, 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 really nerdy. First time I ever got into a radio station. Yeah. They did this. One of the stations out of Memphis did 80s at 8. And when I was little, when I was little was when I really started to. I love the 80s music. I still love 80s music. And one song I was really into at the time was Thomas Dolby's "She Blinded Me with Science." Mm-hmm. And so I was putting together a little Star Trek model in my room, painting and decals and all this stuff. And I finally got through after like 2 or 3 weeks of trying. I finally got through. And the host was and I was surprisingly not nervous. Like I was more nervous when I called into a show a few months back, and I just said, he's like, hey, what do you want to listen to? And I told him Thomas Dolby. He's like, well, how you doing today? What are you doing? Or, what are you up to tonight? And I was like, oh, I'm just building a Star Trek model. And then he said, well, don't make sure it's well ventilated and don't sniff the glue, kid. And then he hung up on me, and then I heard it on the radio, and I was like, oh, that's so awesome.
That's so cool.
Looking back on it, I was like, yeah, that guy was probably had a good laugh about that.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome.
So yeah, that's one of those stories I haven't really told because I forget about it, but I thought it was kind of cool.
It's awesome. Hey, we should actually do Tell Us One Thing since we're kind of doing it anyway. So I'm just gonna play the bumper.
Yeah, we did kind of meld into that.
Yeah, let's go there.
We read your submissions because reading your mind would just be creepy.
The first question comes from Nymphadora. She says, my Tell Us One Thing question. What's the happiest memory you have of a lost loved one? For me, I loved putting my head in my grandma's lap and letting her run her fingers through my hair. We all used to fight over who got lap time because she had this really gentle, soothing touch.
Aww.
That's very sweet.
That is very sweet. Let's see here. I guess my when I was growing up, both my parents worked, and so I was pretty much raised by my great grandmother. Mm-hmm. Until kindergarten, and so she took care of me pretty much every day. And I just remember my fondest memories of her was she would make chocolate milk for me or hot chocolate, I guess, in the morning for me, and we would watch Sesame Street and then The Price is Right every day, every day, and then her stories would come on at 11. Mm-hmm. General Hospital. All the soap operas. Yeah. And so then I would go play in the yard or play in the rest of the house. I still don't, I don't drink chocolate milk at all anymore, or hot chocolate, because it's kind of it was our thing. Mm-hmm. Now, occasionally if someone, like I'll go to Starbucks and get like a mocha caramel, whatever the heck, it's not really coffee, but it's iced coffee thing. Mm-hmm. I'll get one of those every once in a while, but I just don't do hot chocolate or chocolate milk because that was our thing. I still watch Price is Right, but it always reminds me of her.
Aww.
So that's that's the first one that jumps out right at me is that.
Okay. So special mention. My grandmother on my mom's mom she's still with us. She is 86 and she's wonderful. I'm gonna see her in a couple weeks when I go visit my family. She's my last living grandparent, and but. So special mention to her because I'm too old for it now, but every once in a while, even she had this thing where she always had long nails. She's always had them. She mm-hmm. still does. And she used to run her nails gently across your arm. And she used to call it mousy mousy. And so she'd be, when you're little and you'd be sitting next to grandma, she'd go mousy, mousy, mousy. And she'd do this. And she laughs because all of her grandchildren have all requested it from the youngest to the oldest, because she's done it with all of us. And I am the oldest one at 42, and now there's the youngest one I think is 12 or 13 or 14. So we've got a very large span in age.
Yeah.
But for a lost loved one, my great grandparents. They lived down the street from where I lived at home, from my parents' house. They had these old records that they used to call our records for my sister and I. And they were these old, like 30s and 40s, like 40s and 50s rock. And there's certain songs that I will hear every once in a while, and because those were our records, so we could play those records. And there's certain songs that I will hear like on recordings or something like that, and it instantly brings me back to their living room because those were our songs. And I have to find one that I thought of because I heard it on a movie, and I'm like, oh my gosh, great grandma! Like that's totally Aww. It was so cute. And so super, super cool. And I think the last time I went to visit my parents, my dad had the 50s music station on the satellite. And one of those songs came out. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I love how music does that.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Okay, next up is from Mehmet. What was the last time you had a blanket fort, and how did it help? Bonus, what did you stock your fort what did you stock your fort with to help? Or what would you add to it for the next fort? So blanket forts.
I never made blanket forts. Did you?
I did, but they weren't really forts really, because I would take all the chairs in the house and all the blankets and make just huge tents. Like it was just a big blanket tent over the entire living room. One time it went into the kitchen and then down the hallway. It was huge. Mm-hmm. And so it was just like a tent. But I had, it was pretty much all the chairs and just all the blankets. I mean, I would take and I'd have my action figures in there and snacks. So I'd have like crackers or a drink or something in there, and just, food, you gotta have your supplies if you're going to keep the fort or the tent up. So that's what I did.
Yeah. See, I don't remember doing anything like that, like building blanket forts or anything. I used to just play around the house and, with certain action figures or that kind of thing on, so like my mom and dad would have these, decorative, like little scenes or something like that, like a ceramic thing. And so I would pretend that the action figure was living in that scene. That was more like what I would do. I would create scenarios versus like create physical space. I think I liked boxes a lot as a kid. So like big boxes, I would get in and just like, want to sit in the box or something like that. But I wasn't a blanket fort person. I don't know why.
It surprises me that the cat lady likes to be in a box. Just like cats like to go jump in a box and just sit there. That surprises me. I don't know why.
And I love fuzzy blankets. I must be part cat.
It must be. I mean, we would take huge boxes, and in fact, I remember once one of my friends growing up, he was my preacher's grandson, so he was just right across the street from my grandparents' house, and there was a business on the other side of the church, and for some reason they had a ton of boxes, just tons and tons of cardboard boxes. They're just sitting back there waiting to get thrown away. So we made this gigantic fort out of cardboard boxes.
Oh, wow.
And then it started raining, so some of them got, damp and but it was really cool. We thought we were going to make like a cardboard box maze. We were going to like line them up, and so you could start back and forth. It was really cool.
That's awesome. I remember making snow forts though. We made a lot of snow forts, like digging them, like when there was enough snow on the ground, we would dig down and create like an igloo type
little
thing.
Walls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like you get in there,
It rained. It snowed that much, I think, when I was 5 or 6, and then didn't really snow that much until I was in high school. So I never really got to do much with snow growing up. It was usually an ice storm or two.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
The snow days were the best when I was a kid. I loved them. Go out and play all day, get completely soaked, and come in, and then everybody get hot chocolate because you were completely soaked and cold, but you were sweating inside all of your snow gear. And that's from living on the East Coast. You get a lot of snow every once in a while. They don't get as much anymore, but that's all of our Tell Us One Thing questions, actually. That's all we have this week.
Yeah, that is.
So you guys can send those to us at questions@taurenThinkTank.com, or you can go on the internet and use Twitter at Tauren Think Tank, or Facebook.com/TaurenThinkTank, or Discord, tinyurl.com. Yeah, tinyurl.com/TTT chat too is the Discord server. Discord server. Okay. What else? What do we have? Oh, /booze. If you guys have /booze in the chat room, it is your warning to get them in now, and we will
get them ready.
Ready them up. Here we go. You may begin.
Alrighty. First one comes from Erlina /moo to my social /agoraphobic daughter, who finally went to visit her grandfather, aunt, and cousins for the first time in 8 years last night.
That's excellent.
Excuse me. I went through that whole thing of trying not to sneeze. I apologize.
Oh, that's okay. That's huge. Wow, that's a huge
It is
accomplishment.
awesome.
I hope she was okay after that process, because that's a big thing.
Yeah, it really is.
From Drethen_KT /Mutunam for celebrating 10 years of being cancer-free.
Awesome. That is awesome. And also from Solomio, /Mu to WoW's new designated hitter, a.k.a. the Demon Hunter.
I almost read that as designated Hitler. I was like,
yeah,
wait,
those
what?
are 2 T's.
I just looked at that and then I looked at it again and I'm like, And Tasia70 in the chat room says, /Mu to all the friends I have and have had throughout my life. I hope that those I have lost are still having a great life.
Yeah, that's something to think about, because, some friends we do have for the majority of our life, and some are only in and out, just in and out of our lives during a phase. And, I think about that too. I think about kids that I was friends with growing up. I wonder how they're doing. And then I find out one of them did a couple tours in Iraq and is now living in Alaska, and I'm like, wow, that's awesome. Just from a guy that lived down the street from me, And that's really cool. Also, we have Zafira's the next one. Yeah. Zafira in the chat room says, /Mu to the AIE Guild for hosting a wonderful Remembrance Day. And I am so sorry that I couldn't make it.
Oh, and they
Really
were
wanted to make
having DDoS issues that night too, so a lot of
Oh,
people
they were?
couldn't-
There
were a lot of people who couldn't get logged in because of the DDoS issues. So, but
Dumb.
I know. It's like, stop making it hard for other people to play. You suck.
Yeah. Stupid.
Oh, that might be a discussion topic someday. Those people who want to watch the world burn.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
And if you guys have /Moos that you would like to send into the show, you can do so. Again, questions at torrenthinktank.com. Twitter, Facebook, Discord, all those wonderful places. Go find them. Go use them. That is how you keep in touch with us and our wonderful community.
Yes, and we do have a wonderful community. Community. We have a wonderful community.
So that is the show for this week. We have completed the content we have prepared for you. And so what is happening with you for the next 7 days? Anything coming up that you would like to plug?
Well, I get a chance to see one of my best friends, Rayanne, and her husband Keklamore tomorrow, because they're up in Arkansas for a couple of days, and so I am taking the weekend to go hang out with them. I am also spending a good chunk of gold to get a mythic Archimon kill tomorrow, so I can get the mount.
Nice.
So thank you, Garrisons, for that and all of my hard work. People complain about the garrisons in Warlords, but I was like, I made money hand over fist this expansion. I get to buy all the things I want.
If only we can make that kind of money in real life.
Oh, I know. Oh, man, that would be wonderful. But yeah, so I'm getting that. I can't really think of anything else that's going on. Remember to send in your /Moos, your audio /Moos, please. Give me work to do.
Give Marconin work to do.
I'm bored.
Some administrative stuff, not next week, but the week after. We are going to do the show on Wednesday evening, so that's going to be the 24th, because I will be heading to New Jersey to visit my family on the 25th, which is our normal show day, and I'll be there that weekend. So we're looking at, so 198 will be on the 18th, 199 will be on the 24th, and September 1st is looking like episode 200. So that is where we are headed right now. We will actually be recording with Ro for Realm Maintenance. And that is going to happen next week for celebrating our episode 200. So we'll be interviewed by Ro. And I will also be joining a podcast. I was invited to guest on a show called Geek Grills.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm going to be doing a show talking about mental health and gaming. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so that is going to be recording next week. I don't know when that releases, but I will let you guys know. So yes, I am heading to New Jersey in 2 weeks from today, and so hopefully we'll have stories and everything that will come. This chat room is putting the Marsha sounder in there. And if you don't know the Marsha story, go all the way back to episode 10. Oh my lord. That is a long time ago, but the Marsha story was one of the most famous stories from Tauren Think Tank's history.
Yeah, it is.
And it was something that happened to me as I was traveling from Jersey to Connecticut to go meet my previous co-host, Rem, for the first time. And so it was pretty darn funny. Gosh, that was a funny story, and it still lives to this day. 4 years later, Marsha.
Yeah. She ain't going nowhere.
She's not going nowhere because she couldn't get on the train.
Nope.
I think that's everything for the show, for administrative stuff. Again, you go to tinyurl.com/Tauren200 if you'd like to enter into our giveaway, which will be running up until episode 200. We will pull those winners on that day. So after the show ends on episode 200. So you'll have all the time to get to there. Get in your free raffle ticket. Even if you can't watch live, you can still get that from there. You just need a Twitch account. Okay. I think I've done all the chatting. Let's close up the show, and we'll do it this way. Tauren Think Tank is a proud member of the Signals Media All-Star Network. Find out more about the other great shows in the network by going to signalsmedia.com.
Portions of the music and sound effects heard on this show can be found at incompetech.com and freesound.org. You can also find us outside of the show on our website, taurenthinktank.com, which has all of our podcasts and information on how to get in touch with us, too.
Thank you to all who support our show via Patreon. If you'd like to help out Triple T, you can do so at patreon.com/TaurenThinkTank. Want to meet other members of the Triple T community? Join our Discord server. You do. The quick way to get there is tinyurl.com/TTTchat2.
You can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/TaurenThinkTank, or you can do like the other reactions they've got now with the hearts.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff. With all that stuff, that's kind of cool. So you can like us or heart us or whatever that is on there. You can also find us on Twitter. You can find the show Twitter account at Tauren Think Tank. You can also find Jules at Jules RPG and myself, Marconin, at Marconin Wow.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, chat room, for being with us tonight and hanging out every Thursday night at 8 o'clock Central Daylight Time. You can find us on the video stream at twitch.tv/TaurenThinkTank and our mobile audio stream through Alpha Geek Radio at tunein.alphageekradio.com. We love seeing you here with us, however you can be with us.
Yes, we do.
Marconin,
Jules,
have a wonderful week. Enjoy the rest of your vacation.
Oh, I will, and you do the same.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not on vacation, but
well, not the vacation part, but
no. But
enjoy your week.
Get some aloe vera for that sunburn, yo.
Oh, I will. It's starting to hurt a little bit.
I'm sure. Marconin's gonna go to bed after this and get some really good sleep. So we'll be back next Thursday, you guys. Thank you so much for Marconin, for myself, for Garrus Cam, for the entire chat room. Until next time. /moo, everybody.
/moo.
Tauren Think Tank. We make your problems less bad.
This podcast is a part of the Signals Media All-Star Network. For more information on this and other fine shows, go to signalsmedia.com. It's okay to stick our stuff in your ears. Really?
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 Do you have any Chieftain Bane in a can? Ha ha, Draven! /moo. Thanks, Tasia. Thank you. So I have my extra chair. I have a chair that's usually at this desk, and then this chair is usually at my gaming desk. So Spike is laying in the opposite chair, and he is looking so cute. And my phone is too far away for me to snap a picture of this because it's just like my phone is like over here. I can't get Weasley. I just want to take a picture of him because he's like the cutest face right now. He looks like a bear.
Aw, kitty bear.
He looks like a kitty bear. Oh, it's too funny. He's got his head poked out the arm. It's so cute. But if I move, he's gonna get up. So I don't know if I can turn.
So cute.
I don't know if I can turn the camera around if it'll see him. Let's see if it'll do it. Okay, will it see him? Nope, too far. Nope, not gonna work. It's not going to work.
Nope, it's not going to work.
Not gonna work.
Oh, goodness.
I know. Hi, kitty face. He's
I
like,
do need
"What's
to do
going on?"
the Horde Broken Shore thingy. I really want to. I may just watch the video. I do. Oh, I need to get One Night in Karazhan too. The Hearthstone thing came out today.
Oh, I know. So today, I don't know if you've ever seen him on Twitch before, but there's a guy named Bernie Katzman who is the piano impro man. And Blizzard had sponsored him to do a One Night in Karazhan stream. He's he's a renowned concert pianist in his 70s. And he is amazing, but he loves to play on Twitch, and he plays like all of this. He plays like all nerdy stuff, and so they sponsored him to do a stream for One Night in Karazhan. So he was dressed up in a full disco outfit with a big afro, and his wife was too. And I turned in, and he's like sitting there with his kazoo, doing it's Raiding Men. It was so great. If you look on Twitch, I think it's Piano Impro Man. He did this stream today. It was great.
Yeah, and Draven said that if you haven't done the Broken Shore on any of them, make sure to talk to vendors that won't be there afterward. It's both for Alliance and Horde.
Yeah.
For the Lucky Shirt and Eliana's bonnet, there's a quest line you can do on the Broken Shore to find an item that you can do before then, and also on the Horde version, it's a lot of the toys that came out during the Korkron invasion of the Barons, that before Siege of Orgrimmar, or before, it was during Cataclysm, I think. No, Mist of Pandaria, that's what it was. So it's like the whole body Shrinka, the Sinjin Spirit Drum, and Zantish's Flute.
Oh, nice.
To get those, and all these little posts that you can put on the little totem thingies you can put on the ground. Get all of those, because it won't be there after you get done. So except the first, I know Jules, you said you don't have a max level Horde, but if you do, like me, accept the quest and then go out to the thingy and talk to, what's her face? Faux Rum the Postmaker.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't get the I still have my boost, but I don't know what I want to use my boost on. Is it the 90 boost or the 100 boost?
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to use. Since I'm going to get my rogue up to 100, hopefully, in the next couple of days. I may use it for a priest. May do a priest.
Yeah.
They make a Draenei priest just to have a Draenei priest.
I don't know what to do. It's like this big decision, because I did my 90 boost the last time and I regretted it. Like, I should have held it for something, and so now I'm just scared. Like, what should I do?
Well, I was going to say, because I remember you saying that you might switch to priest for raiding.
Possibly.
Maybe.
Possibly. It sounds like I'm going to stick with druid, because we are actually, if you guys, you guys already knew I left Cat on Fire. I wasn't raiding with them and Marconin has been, raiding on and off with them. We're actually going to be, I'm actually part of a new team that's forming up with a small group of friends. And so we're now just refining our roles again. So, obviously I'm going to be healer. It's just depending on, and I think they want me to keep the druid. So we haven't come up with a team name yet. Right now, our placeholder name is Team Mystic.
Yeah, Team Mystic.
I am Team Mystic in Pokemon. So,
me too.
Yep.
Me
I'm level
too.
10 now. I'm making a big time push.
Hey, I'm level 10 as well, so I did get to do a little bit on vacation because the little town that we were staying outside of had a lot of Pokestops on the drive, and so my wife drove a couple of those lengths for like one of those days, so I could stop and do the Pokestops because otherwise I was driving and I couldn't do that. And now if you are driving or riding passenger and you're driving, it'll come up with this thing. It's like you're going too fast.
Yeah,
don't drive in
I saw
Pokemon
that.
Go, and then you can hit the button that says I'm a passenger.
Shut up.
So
I need to go back to the Mall of America. I was like crazy leveling up there. It was insane how many Pokestops there were, and every single one of them were Lord.
Oh man,
I mean, there were like 25 of them there, and they were all Lord. And I sat when I had dinner one day. When I had dinner there, I was by 2 Pokestops that were Lord, and I'm just literally just like it's
blink,
awesome.
blink every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I had lunch today in a restaurant that has a Pokestop in it, and so every 5 minutes or so, I'm like just looking over and swiping it. Mm-hmm. More Pokeballs, please.
Please give me all the Pokeballs, thank you.
What level is your hunter, Barbara? Is it still 85? Because I haven't had a chance to play at all, and yeah, it's still 85. But she can get to 90 pretty quick. I'm pretty quick with the leveling on that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'll just have to do that. And I need to play some One Night in Karazhan.
Yeah,
can't wait to play that.
We got a lot of things to play this weekend, man.
Oh, I know, and no time to do it because I'm going to be out of town.
Are you? Yeah, that's right. You're going out of town again.
Yep, I'm gonna. What is it? But I'll have my laptop with me. Yeah, I've got the Archimon kill, but I'm gonna tether my phone so that I can get on there and do it. Mm-hmm. Cannot wait because I know how much of a pain it is to try and get a mythic. You can't solo mythic Garrosh yet at all, and I don't want to have to go through that pain of trying to solo mythic Archimon. Yeah. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pay the money and get it now.
Draven, we talked about this at the top of the show. I've seen them both,
and I've just seen the Alliance one because I
played through them without spoiling anything. It was a shock. I did not know. I kept myself away from the spoilers, thank goodness, and it was a shock. Both of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew what happened. I knew the thing that happens, but I don't know how they went about it. But I'm just like, oh, man. Mm-hmm. And, I told Tauren on Twitter, Tauren Gregory, I was like, you guys do good work.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
He said something on Twitter leading up to it. He's like, there's something pretty amazing about making stuff that's supposed to hit people right in the feels. Like I'm purposefully making something that's going to make people upset or, sad or... But I did not. I was lucky that I didn't capture any of the spoilers. I was like, "Yay! Nobody spoiled it for me," and I was I was shocked. So
yeah, I inferred what happened because I played the beta a little bit, and I could infer
what happened.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't know how it happens, but I know that it happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and play the Horde side so I can see what happens. I need to get my troll Marconin through there, and I need to get these cool toys and stuff.
Get the toys.
Yeah, well, I mean that's what happens when you tell a mount collector that there's a new mount coming out based on having 300 toys. And I don't collect toys. At least I didn't until I found that out. Now I have to collect toys. Grr.
Well, we'll let you go and get some sleep because I know you're tired.
Yeah, I got a long day tomorrow. Gonna have a lot of fun with some friends and have a good weekend. And I hope you have a good weekend too.
Yeah, I've got some stuff going on this weekend. I'm gonna see Shorel this weekend.
Ooh,
yep.
Give her a hug for me.
I will. She's gonna take me for some cake. Apparently, there's some amazing chocolate cake that I need to try. So I'm gonna meet up with her.
Then yes.
And
by
I'm
all means.
Going to a birthday party on Saturday. I'm so social now. It's like I'm all social now.
Minnesota socialite.
Yes, and I've got a lunch date with Nevar and Steph
Nice.
A couple weeks coming up. So yeah, it's so nice to have these folks in town. And I'm thinking about going to the Ren Fest that's here. And so I'm thinking about that and like what weekend I want to go, and then tell people, hey, I'll be at Ren Fest if you want to come hang out. So because Pat doesn't want to go. Pat doesn't care. So I'm like, I'll go.
Yeah. You're gonna do a what?
A what? I don't want to
do that.
So.
Now you go ahead.
All right, kids. We will see you next week. And slash boo.
Slash boo, guys. Have a wonderful week.
Bye.